So here's my 97 Jeep Wrangler, which I bought just over 10 years ago. It only had 78,000 miles on it, and I do love it. My wife actually hates it because it blows her hair around. It's got no air conditioning, and actually doesn't even have a heater these days. But I've really enjoyed converting it so that I can sleep in it. Mechanically, it's very sound. Anything that went wrong or has gone wrong, my mechanic, Paolo, has worked on it. I think I've replaced virtually everything on it, and the engine's been rebuilt. So I've got a new water pump, new thermostat, and a new radiator. And mechanically, it's as good as it can get. But unfortunately, my Jeep is getting old. Just like me, I've just turned 73. And my Jeep now has cancer. As you can see, rust is popping up all over the place. This might be the Jeep's last journey, and it might be my last journey. We'll have to see. But I'm really getting quite excited and quite anxious, actually, about doing the journey. I have to see the national parks before I die. I want to see the beautiful, awe-inspiring side of America, and the national parks I have to see before I die. And that's why I'm doing the journey. Physically, I'm about as good a shape as I can be for my age, and the Jeep is hanging in there, and I know it's going to get me through. So this is what I started with. This is after I'd removed the rear seats and the passenger seat, and also the safety straps. I was then able to use the bolt holes to secure the planks you can see here, and also fitting two shelves utilizing the safety strap bolts locations. Here you can see the bulkhead and the two wells. The left-hand side I'm going to use for the EcoFlow solar battery. The right-hand side will be just a storage area. Here's my Jeep Wrangler, which I've been kitting out for my road trip. And here is the equipment. I've got the Bluetti DC to DC charger, and then my EcoFlow solar battery. I'll be connecting up to the battery and then running the cable above the back there and down where you can see the screwdriver. I found a convenient entrance through the bulkhead, and then I'll be coming through down here. Here's how far I've got with my platform, and I've put in a couple of shelves. So I've taken out the back seat and the passenger seat, and underneath here I've put in two storage containers. Obviously storage is going to be a problem. And on this side you can see this is the compartment, and this well I'll be putting the solar battery, and I'll be running the cable down the back here. I'm not too sure where I'm going to install the Bluetti, either this side or the other side, but we'll see how it goes. I'm quite excited to have the Bluetti because I'm going to be running most of the time using electricity, and obviously solar panels just don't cut it. And I managed to get the Bluetti at half price, which was another great deal. It all looks quite simple. I usually use Paolo for all my mechanical things, but I'm going to have a go at this. I don't think it's too difficult. Anyway, I'll show you what it looks like when it's completed. So this is the hookup to the battery, and I run the wire along the back here. You can see the ties. I'm going to cut them off later, and I managed to find a convenient place down here to run it in through the bulkhead. And at the moment I've got my refrigerator, my 12 volt, and I'm actually boiling a kettle of water because I plan to use electric for all my needs. I have got a camping stove if I need it. There's my solar battery, and you can see how it's running. There's 162 watts and it'll only last an hour, but the kettle will boil in only a few minutes. I've checked the system is running, but my battery was 100%. So I can't see what wattage is coming off the Bluetti. I expect it's not going to be enough. I expect it's only going to come through at 200, which means I've got to go into the Bluetti app. Oh, there's the Bluetti. It's down here. That's all wired in, and I put it on that side because I can then still run the blower, and if it does, because obviously heat from both will be generated, so I didn't want it on the same side. So the next thing is to actually see how much power it's taking from the alternator, and then I'll have to go into the app to see, so I can change that. They say you can get 560, but I don't think I want to pull that much off the alternator. And there's my refrigerator, and there's the kettle still boiling, and there's the refrigerator. It's down to 55 now. And actually I've got my Applicool, which I'm very happy with, and I got that on Temu, and that was 50 bucks cheaper than Amazon. So I'm very happy. The Bluetti also on Amazon was a special just after Christmas for 250 bucks instead of 450 bucks. So that was another good investment. So I'm nearly there now, as long as I'm getting the right charge from the Bluetti. I had been told about this Bluetti alternator DC to DC charger by my doctor. I looked it up on Amazon and it said compatible with 95% of solar generators. EcoFlow is a major company, and I thought it wouldn't be a problem. How wrong I was. The Bluetti was on sale for $266, so I bought it, and installation went great, and I was so happy. This is what happened when I turned on the engine and flicked the switch. I started on low watts and nothing happened. As I increased it up to 560 watts, I started to get some charge, and at 560 watts, this is what happened. It would take the charge up to 560 and then cut out. Then take the charge again up to 560 and cut out. I want to say now, there was nothing wrong with the Bluetti charger. It was doing everything correctly. The EcoFlow is designed to take up to 700 watts through the solar connection. Now it was charging, but not working correctly, but I nearly kept it. I then did some more research and found the EcoFlow DC charger, and even though it was more money, it made sense to use the same manufacturer. I managed to buy it on sale for $380. On inspection, it immediately looked high quality and had some major advantages. Firstly, you can charge up to 800 watts, which is amazing, and the connection runs straight into the battery and not through the solar connection. Here is the test installation, which went well. I turned on the engine, turned on the charger and the battery, and nothing happened. No charging. My EcoFlow was bought in 23 and has hardly been used except for 2 days last year during Hurricane Milton. The problem was the firmware. This had to be updated, and then came the next big headache. The app did work when I first bought it, but now the Bluetooth would not connect on the app. I tried multiple times and was then in contact with EcoFlow customer service, who I must say now did everything they could to get my battery to respond and were very good. They then said they would replace my battery with a reconditioned battery. I really didn't want to replace my hardly used battery, and on the day I was going to box it up, I gave it one last chance. First of all, the app which had been working when I first bought it, I deleted and opened a new account on a new app. I moved the battery as close as I could to my Wi-Fi router. I still couldn't get the Bluetooth to work, but amazing, this time the Wi-Fi connected and it recognized my battery. I went to the firmware for the update and it wouldn't download because it said I had less than 5% battery power, even though it was at 95%. At this point, I nearly cried, but I got the power cable and plugged it in, and success. The firmware started to download, and I can say I was overjoyed because this battery and keeping it charged is key to my whole great adventure. So here it is, the final installation, and it went well because I'd done it all before. I used the same access through the bulkhead, and here it is. The EcoFlow DC charger is working and the battery is accepting 500 watts with no fluctuating. This charger is so well worth the money. If I run this at 600 watts, it's like having 8 100-watt panels on my roof. In 3 hours, I can fully charge my battery, and the only thing I am running all the time is my refrigerator, which is drawing 65 watts. I can now leave as scheduled on my great adventure. The next video, I will show you my final build out. Thank you for watching and please subscribe.